Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, just starting the presentation. Great. So title of our project is DSP Pedagogical Experiment for 3000. So in this project, we started with DSP, but we don't go into the details of this slide or the next. We just show this implementation of what we have done. So the first implementation we have done the digital filter. So as you know, digital filter can be very flexible and advantages would be shown during the setup. So this is the setup we are using. The left side is the ESP controller. This is the controller we have used for the implementation of the filter itself. All the parameter or whatever we have chosen to fill in this will go into this controller and it will provide a proper output. Next, the LED circuit is used only for the mic purpose because there is no alternative in home condition to provide the signals as a function generator. So we have used the mic setup. Next is the rotary encoder. We have designed a menu for changing the filter parameters. So for changing the menu, controlling the menu, the rotary encoder is used. The rotary encoder has three inputs, which is fed to the ESP controller on interrupts, and it controls the menu. Next is the screen of the menu. I have shown it here because it may not be visible in the live video. So here the parameters are first is sampling frequency, the frequency on which we are sampling the inputs. Next is the class of the filter. We have implementation. Previous slide, please. Yeah, we have implementation of both the class of filters, FIR filter and IR filter. So we have this is the show window of the while the filter is running. So next slide. These are the parameters of the menu, the sampling frequency, the filter class. Filter class is basically the FIR versus the IR. Filter type is the low pass, high pass, or band stop. Filter order is like how much length of filter you want. Like for FIR, it may be a multiple of 50 or 100 because it's very flexible. But for IR filter, we cannot increase the it cannot increase the order to high much. It is more in the range of less than 10. And for this controller, because it's a 30-bit controller, we have chosen to be the order to be 1 to 4. The cutoff frequency is the cut frequency of the filter, like low pass cutoff, band pass cutoff, like that. Window function are the type of window which are implemented on the FIR filter only, like rectangular window, Hamming window, Henning window. While providing the input, we have also implemented several methods, like either you want to give the input through a aux connector or you want to give it through a mic or pin. For the output method, we have two modes. First mode is directly showing the output on a DSO, and the next mode we could take the log of the input and the output and plot it on a laptop. So first I will give you the demo of the live filter. So just switch the camera. Yeah. So if you can, although this is the like the menu which I have shown earlier. Yeah. So now it is saying that FS is 20,000 hertz. The filter is high pass filter, and the input is and the cutoff is 1000. So next I will give the input from the phone to a mic setup. Mm, just loading. So I will give you first the input in a stop band range. Next, you could observe the output on a DSO. Though the green one is the input signal and the yellow one is the output. So right now the frequency lies in the stop band range, so the output is not very much, and you can see the amplitude of the input signal is 2.92 volts and the output is less than 1.3 volt, basically it's not passing. So if you just increase the frequency and just make it in the pass band range, so you could observe that the output is trying to copy the input and the voltage is also increased and the frequency is here. So this is the implementation of the high pass filter. Next, I could show you the big implement implications of the sampling frequency. So this frequency, the output you are showing. If I just zoom it, you can I'll just stop it. You can show there are small ramps of the signal. This is due to the sampling frequency limit. The input signal is flat because it's a continuous signal, but the output signal has some ramps in it. So for showing the more effect of this, what I will do is I will just put the rotary encoder here and just change the menu. The first input is sampling frequency and just set it to 10 kilohertz. You rotate it and just 10 kilohertz. So after 4 seconds, we set to its value, like it is set here, and just again the same input. So now you can see that the ramps are pretty much visible in this area. There's only, if you can see that the frequency supplied is around 1.1 kilohertz and the sampling frequency 10 kilohertz. So basically we have only 10 samples in a whole sine wave. So Because of this effect is observing. Then we could like observe that the change of the sampling frequency. First, I will revert back it to a sampling frequency. Then we could like provide you the change in cutoff frequency. So this is the cutoff frequency. Okay, sorry, I just yeah. So cutoff frequency. Yeah. So this is the cutoff frequency. We'll control it through the potentiometer. If we like put in the range of around 400 hertz, pressing the button again, and if we again pass a sinusoidal of around, just showing here, yeah, 349 hertz. So I could view that the input is passing, but the output is still not here. And 700 hertz wavy signal will passing with is passing pretty much. So it is the pass band. So in this way, we have applied the filter phenomena pretty much visible to the user, like what we do in the analog filter. We provide the input and get the output. So this is the same thing happening here, but just in a digitized format. So the same thing is implemented on a laptop-based approach, on an app-based approach on Python. So Neha will uh, share you the thing next.
The bigger board contains the mic setup, and the smaller one is the C2000 controller. Now I will run the app. So we have made an application in Python, and in which we can set the parameters and also observe the input and the output signals. So I will connect it to the filter. I will set the parameters. These are similar parameters. So like I increase the sampling frequency and cutoff uh, to about more than 1 kilohertz. Then if I click on set, then the filter parameters are sent to the filter. Now I'll start the filter. So I have applied a signal of 1 kilohertz, and only one sine wave, that is one of 1 kilohertz, is passing, because the cutoff is of 1 kilohertz or more than 1 kilohertz. So next I will show convolution. So I have to just set up. In convolution, I have to set the mode as 0. So I'll run this. So this is convolution of square with square. Jumper is not quite good. 1 second. Yeah. So this is the convolution of square with square. The upper graph is of the first signal, the lower middle one is of the second signal, and the last one is the convolution of two signals. Now I have changed the second input. This is the convolution of square wave with a constant signal. Now I will show FFT. For FFT, I have to set the mode as 1. The upper graph is 1 kilohertz square wave, and the lower is FFT of the square wave. So as you can see, we are getting a peak at 1 kilohertz, and second peak at 3 kilohertz, which is odd harmonic of 1 kilohertz, then 5 kilohertz, then 7 kilohertz, and so on. Now I will change the input to mic. Just a second. So I have applied 1 kilohertz sine wave. So we can see a peak at 1 kilohertz. Now I will mix two sine waves. I have mixed 1 kilohertz and 1.5 kilohertz sine wave. So as we can see, there are two peaks, one at 1 kilohertz and one at 1.5. Now I will mix three sine waves. So I have mixed three 1 kilohertz, 1.5 kilohertz and 2 kilohertz. So we can see three peaks. Now Supriyo will show the concept of digital resonator.
Yeah. So digital resonator is a like a application of a IR filter, second order based IR filter. What it is helpful in basically, if we just right now seeing that we have no input signal to provide, so we have to use a mic. But as a function generator, if we have like a sort of this on a controller, that will be very helpful for us to provide the input directly to a controller. So for that implementation, we have generated a digital resonator circuit, not a circuit, but it's a controller code which translates into a sine wave or of any frequency you want up to a range. So I can just show you that thing also. Yeah. So this is the same setup, the same controller. Here you can see. Sorry if I just repeat it here. Yeah, it is just showing that the frequency is around 160 hertz. And if I plot on the DSO right now, it is showing the exact frequency of 160 hertz. The exact sine wave. It is exactly the sine wave putting through a DAC controller, not the any passing through a low pass filter or something. Next, we could change it. Then this is a change button, and this is a potentiometer. This is for the fine adjustment. This is for the coarse adjustment. It is maybe not visible too, but if we could just now I have set it to a frequency of 1160 hertz, 1.1 kilohertz. Now I could observe the output. It is approximately 1.16 kilohertz. The range is up to, if I just max the limit, it is up to 100 kilohertz. This is the output you are getting on the 100 kilohertz. So it is not visible, just stop it. Yeah. So you could see there are ramps in it. There's the also limit of the sampling frequency here also. The controller is outputting the data at a rate of 865 kilohertz. So in this view, you can get it is around 8 sample per 100 per a sine wave. So in this way, for in low frequency is very good. For any high frequency, you could just apply this output to any low pass filter first, then you will get a pretty smooth sine wave for even such a high frequency also. So what are the advantages of one second, just the camera. Yeah, so what are the advantages of doing such things on a controller rather than putting on a MATLAB? Basically, a MATLAB approach is helpful in performing the simulation or for getting the ideal characteristics. But if we go on a controller and put the physical outputs or some speech input, so we could perform any amount of like algorithms or processing power or something like that, and we could see in real time. Like if I apply a sine wave to our input and just put it out of the speaker, we could apply the speech signal passing through algorithm and just outputting it on a different set of output methods. So the conclusion is basically a controller like this, if implementation is done for a DSP basic algorithm, then modification is very simple. Like if you, like you've seen that the filter implementation is very simple. The low pass, high pass is just a click away from your hand, not any change of the circuit or anything. This doesn't depend any of the parameters of the RC or anything. Op-amp, nothing is required in this. So we are basically it's a demonstrative project, a pedagogical project to demonstrate the idea of putting the MATLAB things onto a physical world, the physical signal, applying physical signal or something like that. So in this, as you've seen that we implemented the filters, the convolution algorithm, the FFT algorithm, and the resonator algorithm. So we have seen you the demo of all this. As for conclusion, we can say that we have achieved the results as we wanted to. Next slide. For the future work, we could have done for more better implementation. There's something called an adaptive filter, which depends the input for processing. We could have applied that also. There's a limitation on the input also because as this is a controller, this cannot be implemented to a like infinite sampling speed. There's limitation on the input also. It depends first on the sampling frequency of the controller, like how fast it can sample input. The next criteria along with is the size of the filter. Basically, as a standard filter, as we've seen in the books, there's a array of multiplier and adders. But in a controller, there's a piece of code. They are not parallel things. They are like sequential things. So it takes time and execution. So we have to consider that while while putting a limit on the input frequency also. So more on this can be some audio techniques like reverberation, echo, something. This thing is mainly put on the interrupt thing. Like there's an interrupt going on the sampling frequency speed, and on the interrupt we are putting the input and the output through the media. The other approach could be the RTOS based circuit that we could implement it, and the effect is noise and distortion can be easily avoided as a DSP, as the filter is very flexible to use. Yeah, that is from us.
Okay, so what is the range of frequencies for which your hardware has been built?
Yeah.
Does it respond
Neha,
only
next
to
slide.
audio?
Neha, the previous slide, the slide with the 6000 controller. Yeah, so implementation with two controllers. First, the name of the project which is C2000. This is the C2000 controller. This right side left one. So it has a ADC of sampling speed up to 1.7 megahertz. So if your filter is very small, like a order of 2 or 3, that the sequential instruction is very less, it's core implemented in this also known as 200 megahertz speed. So if the implementation of those instructions can be very less, then it could achieve very high speed up to around 500 kilohertz range, something like that, or some less than. But near previous slide, two slides previous with the ESP controller. This is a low cost controller ESP, but has pretty much the same characteristics. Just the sampling frequency of the ADC is less. The analog digital converter of this controller has some limitation of the speed, which samples in around 150
So are you
kilohertz
saying
range.
the specification of ADC is the main bottleneck for limiting the range of frequencies?
Yeah, first of the bottleneck is the range. The next is how much filter length are you implementing. Like I've shown you a FIR filter of 201 length. So implementation of this kind of filter on the ASP controller takes about half of the time period allocated for each sample. Like I am just running it on a 20,000 kilohertz speed. Just the one upon sampling time which gives the time for the sampling plus the implementation of the filter. So the implementation of filter takes about half the time of that. So basically, if I just improve that, so on 20,000, if I just use the same controller with same filter length, then the maximum frequency I could achieve is 40 kilohertz on this controller. But on the 6000 controller, if I reduce, it is the first bottleneck of this controller that the ADC speed is less. But if I go to that the 6000 controller, the ADC speed is pretty much, and there the filter implementation code generally is a bottleneck there. The ADC is pretty much fast.
So apart from ADC, does memory also impose a constraint?
No, memory does not implement constant because both the controller has external flash memory attached to it. This one ASP controller has a 4 MB flash. The earlier 6000 controller has around 1 MB of flash.
Okay.
And we are not logging any memory on the controller itself. We are taking the input, processing it, and just outputting the data. For logging it, you can put it on a laptop or something. So there are no restriction on the memory itself if the filter length does not include like very long, like you develop filter length of around 1000 length. That may be a problem, but that is not very necessary because 200 or 300 FIR filter length is very much enough to provide the performance. Plus, they have also window function to improve the performance again. So
Okay,
memory is
fine.
not a constraint so much.
Okay, fine.
Any more questions from?
Shweta ma'am, Badre sir, do you have anything to ask? Okay, I think we should go to the next one. Shweta ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please wait. Shweta
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, can you show the hardware?
Just unplugged it something. You can set a setup also because there's a jumpers and something like that. I could show you. Yeah. So this is the controller thing. The ESP controller 6000. I'm not used. She has used the 6000. This is ESP controller. this is the basically a rotatory encoder just for controlling the menu, because a menu needs something controlled as a push button and the rotation anti-clockwise and clockwise. The another circuit is a standard circuit of, basically it's a circuit of many purposes, but we have mainly used to provide the mic input, which is located just right here. This is the mic.
Okay.
So not much of a thing. If we combine all this in a single board, then it would be like a single board, something like, because you don't have, yeah. So there's nothing much more of a hardware.
And this is the C2000 controller.
Okay. Okay, ठीक है. Okay, thank you.
This is the mixer.
Okay, you can leave now.